So you want to take up scale modeling. Well, it's a great hobby. I've been doing it for about 5 years, except you need a couple of things. You need time and patience, and in some cases, some money. If you're just starting out, chances are you can get a small little starter kit, which is mostly a car, and it comes with about 3 paints and glue. The glue you'll most likely get is this kind. It has the characteristic white cap to it. And this is okay for beginners, except if you place it somewhere and you pull it away, you'll get this big spider web-like thing that can get up to about, I've had it go up to 7 feet long, and it also, this is a gel. It's not a liquid, so if you put it somewhere and you leave a glob, it'll stay there. Now there are also about 5 different types of paints. There are 2. Most likely the one you'll start out with is Tester's Enamel, which comes in this characteristic square glass jar. It's very thick, it's very hard to break. And also from Tester's is an acrylic, which is much thinner than the enamel. These 3 are from another brand called Model Master. This is basically the same thing. This is an enamel, same thing as Tester's. And this is a very strange thing. I rarely use it, but it's an acrylic enamel. It's a water wash up, so if you get it on something, you don't have to put on paint thinner to get it off. And this is nice. This is a Model Master spray enamel. It's basically spray paint. And I found that the easiest way to use this is to use one of these. That's not supposed to be on, but it's called a can gun. And basically, just take it, find the front of the nozzle, line it up, and just smack it on, and you have your little can gun. It makes it much easier, and it doesn't wear out your finger as much. Another one from Model Master is a metallizer lacquer. This is thinner than anything you could possibly get straight out of a jar. And this is basically to put on the plastic so that it looks more like metal, except you have to go through a lot of surface treatment, and that's much later in experience. Right now, since you're a beginner, you really don't have to worry that much about paint thinners to fill in panel lines and all that stuff. But this is an essential. It's a Tester's brush cleaner. It's essentially the same thing as paint thinner you can get at Home Depot. If you get one of those starter sets, chances are you're going to get a brush, a really cheap brush like this. It's just a plastic with a couple of hairs on it. Do not use this. The only one I use is the wide one, and I've already cut off all the hairs for a specific reason I'll get into later. But you want to get some pretty good quality brushes that aren't extremely cheap, but these are very nice to have. You want a very small one, probably a medium, and then I don't really normally use the larger one except for mixing up paints and paint thinner and stuff. Alright, now that I've talked about all the stuff that make your model look good, I'm going to go over some of the essential supplies that you'll need for modeling. If you can't get anything else, you need an X-Acto knife. This is extremely important. You need an X-Acto knife, because if you want to get the stuff off the tree, which is this piece of plastic that all the model parts come on, you need to get them off cleanly. If you just tear them off, you're going to get these ugly little tears in your plastic, and it looks terrible. Also, tweezers. Tweezers are good, and these ones are much different from small sciencey tweezers because I can actually hold this very well and tweeze with it instead of just holding it like this. I can grasp my entire hand around it, so I have more control of where I put the piece. Toothpicks are an essential. They're very good. I use them all the time to mix up paints and put them in and drop small dots of paint into very small places. Another thing that I use are vinyl gloves. These are just to provide a barrier between the oil on your fingers and the model, because oil from your hands creates hell for glue and paint of all types.